Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a penny, and realizing it's worth millions of dollars. That's not just a fantasy. It's a reality for some collectors who have stumbled upon rare and valuable coins hidden in plain sight. Today, we're going to explore one of the most fascinating and overlooked coins in American history, the 1988 Lincoln 1-cent coin. At first glance, it seems like just another ordinary penny, but under the right conditions and with the right variety, this coin has the potential to make you rich beyond imagination. So before you toss that change back into the jar, let's dive deep into the story of how a simple 1988 penny could change your life. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation for over a century, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin replaced the Indian head cent and became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. For decades, the Lincoln penny has been a canvas for small design changes, minting errors and unique varieties that turned ordinary copper pieces into treasures worth thousands or even millions. The 1988 Lincoln cent fits perfectly into this category because it was produced during a transitional period at the U.S. Mint. These transitional years are critical for collectors, since small changes in design or mistakes during the minting process often result in rare varieties that slip into circulation. In 1982, the composition of the Lincoln cent changed from mostly copper to a copper-plated zinc core due to rising metal costs. By 1988, the U.S. Mint had settled into this new standard, but mistakes still happen. Some 1988 Lincoln cents were struck using a reverse design intended for coins of later years. This resulted in what collectors call the 1988 ear or 1988 reverse of 1989 variety. The difference is subtle, but to an expert or collector, it's a sign of rarity and potential fortune. These kinds of transitional errors create buzz in the numismatic community because they are so easy to miss in everyday transactions. Imagine spending one at a grocery store without ever knowing its true value. One of the most famous and valuable types of 1988 pennies is the reverse of 1989 variety. On this coin, the reverse design is not the same as the standard 1988 cent, but instead features a design intended for the following year. This happened because Mint employees mistakenly used the wrong die when striking the coin. While a regular 1988 penny might only be worth face value, this rare variety has sold for thousands of dollars depending on its condition. In fact, some specimens in mint state grades have been auctioned for incredible amounts, turning an everyday cent into a highly sought-after collectible. The story of the 1988 penny goes deeper than just one variety. Error coins from this year also add to its mystique and value. Examples include off-center strikes, double die obverses, and coins struck on defective planchets. Each of these mistakes tells the story of how even a highly mechanized minting process isn't perfect, and it's these imperfections that can turn a simple penny into a treasure. Collectors hunt for these errors relentlessly because the rarity and uniqueness of each mistake increase demand. A 1988 penny with a strong doubling on Lincoln's ear, for instance, can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on how dramatic the doubling appears under magnification. Condition also plays a massive role in determining a coin's value. Collectors use the Sheldon coin grading scale, ranging from poor P1 to perfect mint state MS70, to judge how well a coin has survived since its minting. A 1988 Lincoln cent in worn condition might only be worth its face value, but the same coin in pristine mint state with no scratches, discoloration or wear can be worth much more. Combine mint condition with a rare variety or error, and suddenly you're looking at a coin that could sell for tens of thousands or more at auction. This is why coin roll hunters and collectors pay close attention to even the smallest details when examining their find. The excitement surrounding the 1988 penny isn't just about money, it's about history, chance, and discovery. Each coin is a tiny artifact, a piece of America's economic story, and a reminder that extraordinary treasures often hide in plain sight. When you hold a 1988 penny in your hand, you're holding a relic of the late 1980s, a decade of transition, not just for coins, but for the nation as a whole. It was a time of technological change, shifting economies and new challenges. And the coins of this era reflect that story. But here's the catch. Not every 1988 penny is valuable. Millions upon millions were minted, and the vast majority are only worth 1 cent. The difference between a penny that makes you rich and a penny that stays in your pocket comes down to knowledge and attention to detail. Knowing what to look for is key. Collectors recommend using a magnifying glass or coin loupe to carefully examine the date, Lincoln's ear, and the reverse design. Small differences that most people overlook could mean the difference between a coin worth a penny and a coin worth thousands or even millions if the right buyer comes along. Stories of people discovering rare coins in their pocket change have made headlines countless times, from kids finding doubled die cents in their allowance to adults discovering rare transitional errors in jars of coins saved for decades. The possibility of finding treasure keeps the hobby alive. The 1988 penny is one of those coins that continues to spark that sense of wonder and possibility. Collectors also know that value doesn't always come immediately. Holding onto a rare coin can sometimes be more profitable than selling it right away. As time passes and fewer examples remain in circulation, rarity increases and so does value. A 1988 penny that's worth a few $1,000s today could be worth significantly more in the future, especially if preserved properly. That's why coin holders, protective cases, and careful storage are essential for anyone who discovers a valuable find. The world of coin collecting isn't just about experts and auctions. It's about everyday people like you, who take the time to look closer at what's in their pocket. That's the beauty of coins like the 19. They remind us that opportunities for wealth and discovery are all around us, hidden in the smallest details, waiting for someone curious enough to pay attention. Imagine finding that one coin among millions, the one with the rare error or the unusual design, and realizing that in your hand is a piece of history worth millions. So the next time you see a penny lying on the ground or get one back as change, don't dismiss it. Take a closer look, especially if it's from 1980. Coins have always had a way of connecting the ordinary with the extraordinary, and the 1988 Lincoln 1-cent coin is proof that even the humblest penny can carry the weight of history, mystery, and unimaginable value. Imagine finding a simple penny in your pocket, a coin so common that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick it up off the ground. Yet that very coin has the potential to change your entire life. What if I told you that a 1991 Lincoln 1-cent coin, something you might overlook as pocket change, could actually be worth thousands or even millions of dollars under the right circumstances? Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1991 Lincoln penny, a coin that hides incredible secrets, historical importance, and jaw-dropping values when rare errors or conditions come into play. Don't underestimate the power of what may look like an ordinary cent, because behind that small copper coin lies a treasure that could make someone rich overnight. The 1991 Lincoln 1-cent coin is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, which first began in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. By 1991, this coin was already deeply established in American history and had become the longest-running design on circulating U.S. currency. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of freedom, perseverance, and leadership. The reverse in 1991 still carried the design of the Lincoln Memorial, which had been in place since 1959 to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. These designs weren't just random choices, they represent values that the nation holds close. But, beyond their symbolism, some specific coins from 1991 became legends in the world of coin collecting because of their rarity and errors. The 1991 penny at first glance looks like any other coin minted in the late 20th century. It's small, reddish in color, and produced in the billions, over 5 billion to be exact. But coin collectors know better than to dismiss it as worthless. The truth is, while most 1991 pennies are only worth face value, certain ones with rare features or errors can fetch thousands of dollars. And in extremely unique cases, some specimens have been valued at levels that rival luxury cars, houses, or even a lifetime of savings. That's why collectors are always on the lookout for this coin, examining every detail carefully because one mistake from the U.S. Mint can turn an everyday penny into a $1 million prize. One of the key factors that determines the value of a 1991 Lincoln penny is its condition. A coin in circulated condition, meaning it has been used by the public and shows signs of wear, may not be worth much. But a coin in uncirculated condition, especially one graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC, can bring serious money. Some uncirculated 1991 pennies with brilliant luster and no marks have sold for hundreds of dollars. Now, if you take that same coin and add a rare minting error, the price skyrockets. Errors are the golden ticket in numismatics, and for 1991 pennies, there are several that collectors hunt obsessively. One of the most famous error varieties is the double die. This happens when the coin's design is struck twice by the minting machine but slightly misaligned, leading to a doubling effect on the lettering or images. On a 1991 penny, doubling can appear on "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date. Such a discovery can easily be worth thousands of dollars. Imagine finding that in your pocket change. Another sought-after error is the off-center strike, where the design is not properly centered on the coin. The more off-center the strike while still showing the date, the higher its value. A 1991 penny with a 50% off-center strike can easily reach several $100s or more in auctions. But it doesn't stop there. Transitional errors, where a coin is accidentally struck on the wrong planchet, metal blank, are extremely rare and valuable. In 1991, pennies were made primarily of copper-plated zinc, but mistakes happen. If a penny from this year was struck on a leftover copper planchet from earlier years or even on a foreign coin blank, its value could skyrocket into the tens of thousands. These mistakes are so rare that when they surface, collectors compete fiercely to own them, driving the price higher and higher. In certain cases, unique transitional error coins have crossed into the $1 million mark, when auctioned to elite collectors who want a once-in-a-lifetime piece. Another aspect that adds mystery and value to the 1991 penny is the role of the mints. In 1991, pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, marked with a. There were also proof coins produced at the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S, which were made with extra care and intended for collectors. Proof coins from this year, when preserved perfectly in their original cases, can sell for hundreds or even thousands depending on their quality. But if an error-proof coin surfaces, the price can leap dramatically, as these coins were supposed to be flawless and closely inspected before release. Owning a flawed proof from 1991 is like owning a diamond with a rare, beautiful imperfection. It's priceless to collectors. The stories surrounding valuable 1991 Lincoln pennies are nothing short of inspiring. There are tales of people who stumbled upon rare examples in pocket change, old jars, or inherited collections, and later sold them for life-changing amounts of money. Some auctions have witnessed heated battles where bidders pushed the price of a rare 1991 penny well beyond expectations. It serves as a reminder that extraordinary treasures can hide in plain sight, and sometimes the smallest things like a penny can carry unimaginable worth. The history of the Lincoln penny also adds to its appeal. Since its introduction in 1909, it has been the most widely used coin in the United States. By 1991, it had already been in circulation for over 80 years, becoming not just a tool for commerce, but also a symbol of American heritage. Every scratch, shine, and detail tells a story of the countless hands it has passed through. When collectors look at a 1991 penny, they don't just see copper and zinc, they see a piece of history, a direct connection to the past. And when that history comes with a rare twist, its value goes far beyond the metal itself. What makes the 1991 penny even more fascinating is that its potential worth isn't obvious at first glance. most people wouldn't give it a second thought. That's why knowledge is so important. Collectors and sharp-eyed individuals know to check the date, the mint mark, and look closely for doubling, misstrikes, or unusual coloring that could signal an error. The difference between a 1-cent coin and a $1 million treasure often comes down to careful observation, and that's what keeps the hunt alive. The possibility that anyone, anywhere, could find a fortune in their pocket change. As time passes, the rarity of valuable 1991 pennies increases. Many have been lost, damaged, or overlooked, making the surviving examples even more desirable. Collectors understand this and are willing to pay top dollar to secure these coins before they vanish from circulation completely. For someone holding onto a rare 1991 penny today, the potential profit only grows as interest in coin collecting continues to expand worldwide. In the end, the story of the 1991 Lincoln penny is one of hidden value and extraordinary possibility. It reminds us never to underestimate the small things in life, because sometimes they hold the greatest treasure. A coin minted in the billions can still carry secrets so rare that a single specimen can command millions. The next time you come across a penny, especially one from 1991, don't ignore it. Take a closer look. You might just be holding a fortune in your hand. Imagine holding a simple penny in your hand. A coin that most people overlook, toss aside, or drop without a second thought. Now, imagine that very same coin being worth not just a few cents, not just a few dollars, but potentially millions. This is not a fantasy. It's a reality that has left collectors and treasure hunters searching tirelessly. Among the hidden gems of American coinage, the 1990 Lincoln 1-cent coin has become a symbol of how something so ordinary can hold extraordinary value, and how your spare change could carry a fortune waiting to be discovered. The story of the 1990 Lincoln penny begins like many others in the history of U.S. coinage. At first glance, it seems like an everyday copper-plated zinc cent, minted in the millions and passed around from pocket to cash register without any recognition of its hidden potential. But beneath that familiar face of Abraham Lincoln lies a truth that has fascinated numismatists. Not every penny is created equal. Variations, mistakes, and rare minting errors have turned certain 1990 pennies into treasures worth life-changing amounts. Collectors are not simply fascinated by the design, they are obsessed with the anomalies that set some coins apart from the rest. To understand why the 1990 Lincoln cent is so valuable, one must first know its background. Since 1909, the Lincoln cent has been one of the most iconic coins in American history. First introduced to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. By 1990, the design had become deeply rooted in American culture, with the bust of Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But what makes the 1990 penny truly special is the fact that some were struck with errors so unique that they turned into numismatic legends. The most famous among them is the 1990 No-S proof cent. Proof coins are specially struck for collectors, made with sharp details and mirror-like finishes. These coins are never meant for circulation, and they usually carry a small S mint mark below the date, indicating they were struck at the San Francisco Mint. But in 1990, a small number of proof Lincoln cents were struck without the S mint mark, a mistake that should never have happened. These no-S proof cents became instant rarities. With only a limited number known to exist, collectors quickly realized their value. What should have been a 1-cent coin was suddenly worth tens of thousands of dollars, and as the years passed, their value only grew. Today, a pristine example of a 1990 No-S proof Lincoln cent can fetch well over $20,000 to $30,000 at auction. Some estimates even suggest that ultra-rare perfect examples could push into the hundreds of thousands. But the fascination with the 1990 penny doesn't stop at proof coins. Even circulation strikes, the everyday pennies that were minted in the billions, can hold surprises. Coins struck off-center, double dies, weak strikes, and other minting errors have been found among 1990 cents. While most of these may not reach the six-figure mark, certain dramatic errors can still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Imagine finding a penny with an off-center strike so severe that half the design is missing, or a double-die coin where Lincoln's profile appears doubled. These coins, though technically mistakes, are considered works of art by collectors and sell for far more than their face value. The true beauty of the 1990 penny lies in its accessibility. Unlike ancient coins locked away in museums or gold pieces that only the wealthy can afford, this is a coin that could be sitting in anyone's jar of spare change. It could be at the bottom of your car's cup holder in a drawer or passed across a counter without a second thought. That possibility, that small chance of uncovering a fortune in the most unlikely place, is what keeps collectors and treasure hunters engaged. The hunt for the 1990 Most penny is not just about money, it's about discovery, excitement, and the dream of turning the ordinary into the extraordinary. Over the years, countless stories have surfaced about people finding rare coins by accident. A man buying a roll of pennies at a bank discovers an error coin worth thousands. A woman sorting through her late father's collection stumbles upon a proof penny with no mint mark. These stories are proof that anyone, anywhere can stumble upon a life-changing discovery. The 1990 Lincoln penny stands as one of those treasures, a coin that blurs the line between everyday pocket change and millionaire status. The psychology behind why we treasure these coins is fascinating. Humans are naturally drawn to rarity, to owning something unique that few others possess. In a world where billions of coins look identical, finding the one that doesn't, the one that slipped through the cracks of the US Mint, feels like winning a lottery. The rarity creates demand, and demand fuels value. The 1990 Most penny isn't valuable because it's made of precious metals. It's valuable because it's a mistake that wasn't supposed to exist. That paradox is what makes it priceless in the eyes of collectors. Collectors today are willing to pay staggering amounts for rare varieties of the 1990 penny. Auctions have seen bidding wars with passionate numismatists, driving the price higher and higher, desperate to secure one of these elusive coins. For many, it's not just about investment. It's about pride, prestige, and the thrill of owning a piece of history. Imagine walking into a coin show and unveiling a flawless 1990 Most proof penny. Instantly, you would command respect, attention, and admiration. It's not just a coin. It's a ticket into an elite world of collectors. But here's where the story becomes even more intriguing. Some experts believe there may still be undiscovered 1990 Most pennies hiding in private collections or forgotten proof sets. These coins could be sitting unnoticed in attics, basements, or coin folders, waiting for the day they're recognized. Every unopened proof set from 1990 carries the faint possibility of containing one of these treasures. That element of mystery ensures that the legend of the 1990 penny will never fade. It will continue to inspire new generations of collectors to search, to hope, and to dream. When we talk about millions of dollars worth of coins, people often imagine gold or silver. But the story of the 1990 Lincoln cent proves that true value isn't always about what a coin is made of. It's about its story, its rarity, and the human desire to possess the impossible. A single cent, the smallest denomination in American currency, has the power to outshine even the most dazzling gold coin, if it carries with it the mark of rarity. And that is the lesson of the 1990 penny, that greatness can hide in the most unlikely place. So the next time you find a penny, take a closer look. Don't dismiss it as worthless or insignificant. That tiny coin might hold secrets, mistakes, or rare qualities that could change your life forever. The 1990 Lincoln 1-cent coin is more than just money. It's a reminder that fortune can be found where you least expect it. Somewhere out there, someone will discover the next great rarity. And maybe, just maybe, that someone could be you.